Alrighty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. I hope everybody's having a great trading session. And, I think we got to be a little careful here. I say that because equities are trading a little heavier. And it's one of those, I'm not too overly excited. I'm just carefully watching what's happening. I think today's daily close is going to be kind of important. This is the last. Well, tomorrow's the last day of the quarter, last day of the month. And, I think most people are expecting the stock market to rally into end of month, end of quarter. So, looking at at the S&P right now, I'm not terribly excited about it, but, as I mentioned earlier today, you got to be watching this 3940 level in the S&P. And if we start breaching that, then it's going to get my attention. Right now, I'm not too overly concerned, as you probably aren't either. We're just kind of sitting here watching what's going on. The NASDAQ is still once again rejecting that trend line. That's what we talked about earlier this morning on the Face webinar, and the Dow is pulling back just a little bit. Also, the DAX was hitting a new all-time high earlier this morning, okay? And with the DAX hitting a new all-time high, matter of fact, let's see if we could do, I think this is going to be, it's way past it. It's 161% extension is right there. Yeah, so we're still ways away from the 261% extension. We still have some distance to go, but we are at the 15,000 mark, and the relative strength is starting to get overbought. But you can see how it's pulling back just slightly, and I think that Europeans are probably like, oh wait, how come the S&P hasn't hit 4,000 yet? Maybe I need to take a little bit of profits. I wouldn't be concerned with the DAX at this moment, but it is really one of the things, in my opinion, that's keeping the rest of the U.S. equity markets buoyed and buoyant right now is the rally that we're seeing in European equities. And here's the CAC 40. Here's the this is the FTSE. Okay, I think it's just worth noting that European bourses are pretty strong, and that's one of the things that's keeping the U.S. equity markets higher, at least right now. But the flip side of that is if you look at the Aussie, we're actually trading back below 76 cents. And man, it is hard for me personally. It's really hard for me to be bullish risk when I'm seeing the Aussie so weak. The dollar is strong against not only the euro, not only the Aussie, but against the euro, against the Kiwi. Dollar Canadian is desperately trying to break higher. It's capped by the 50-day moving average, but I mean, it's trying. And so with the rallies that we're seeing here in the dollar against some of these currencies, I'm just wondering, are we going to see some further selling of risk? Crude oil, by the way, is a little weaker today, but nothing's moving aggressively yet. Okay. But I think that's why we have to be watching at the end of the day. If the end of the day, we turn sour a little bit and we turn south and the dollar goes bid, I'm just wondering if it's going to bleed into the end of the quarter. And I have to say again, the end of the quarter, the likely expectation right now is that we're going to rally tomorrow. So I guess if we end up weaker today in equities, we see the dollar start to strengthen. We have the Aussie, approaching support. If we start to break down through some of these support levels, I guess the question I'm going to be asking is, is this market going to try to catch some people off guard? So anyway, just Yeah, and I'm looking at the euro. The euro's really oversold, and I'm like, man, this thing's got to be, due for a bounce soon. But the flip side of that is it's continues to be very weak. This is the 38% retracement, long-term 38% retracement. So with the euro, maybe we get one more push lower below 117, trip the stops. And if you guys are looking for a counter trend long, maybe that's the place to do it. Just for a bounce going into tomorrow. That's, an idea. I don't think I'm going to take that trade, but it's just something to think about. Other than that, let's see. Wait. One other thing I wanted to cover really fast. I didn't have the chart up over here. Look at precious metals too. I mean, gold is at risk of really breaking down here. So one of the other things that we have to think about regarding the dollar is if these precious metals break down, you have silver that's at 24, you got gold at the 1680 support. How about if those two break down? If they break down, that's just going to be another, swoon for the dollar. It's going to be a nice little tailwind for the dollar. So just, again, those are things that I'm looking at. And I don't want to be aggressive here. Knowing what's happening tomorrow, knowing that it's the end of quarter. So Raj says, Blaker, looks like the gravestone doji forming on a 4-hour for the loonie. He says, no, well, not my charts. If it was a gravestone doji here for me, let me pull it up on a different feed really quick. Just looks like a doji to me. But if we had, I'm just going to grab my pen. If for some reason we were, the candle went red, it had a big body here, that would be like a kind of like a shooting star, But anyway, that's what I'm seeing here. What could happen though, like let's say this is this 4 hours, just we end up closing right here and we get a red candle next. Like let's say this is just a red candle, right? Then that would be an evening star formation right there, and it should point lower. But for right now, I just see it as a doji. Okay. Tony said that finger of the POS yesterday pointed us to where we're at right now. Yeah, interesting how that works sometimes. I don't think that that's a normal. I don't think you should trade on that type of thing. Man, I wish this market was more exciting. I know it's going to be exciting soon. Soon. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, I hope you all have a great day. If you're not in the chat room, I'll see you tomorrow. But if you guys are in the chat room, I'll see you a little bit later, or I'll see you here in just a moment after I get ready for the day. But I want to thank everybody for their continued support. You guys are awesome, as always. And watch that Aussie. Looks not so good. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.